Welcome Sagittarius, this is your August 3rd to August 9th forecast. We're seeing all the transits listed here, but we're going to focus in on the Lionsgate portal on August 8th. So this is energizing your 9th house of expansion and vision, and it's highlighting your spiritual growth and development here. So Sagittarius, your soul vision is expanding. This portal brings downloads of higher purpose, and you're guided to meditate outdoors under open sky and speak future self-affirmations. Let's see what else we have. Oh, okay. So we got our cards here. I'm going to get one more card here. I want to see what else we have going on as a focus for you this month. Or I'm sorry, this week. So we have the King of Pentacles here. And Judgment. And then also wonderful. Okay. So you may be coming into some higher levels of consciousness, so you may have some activations that are happening here. You may be receiving some new codes or remembering them. You may also be coming into some new frequencies, new timelines here. Definitely with the revelations, like new things coming to you, new knowings, greater understanding. Also, I'm hearing like some of you are uncovering more and more about your life purpose and like what you came here to do as far as raising and uplifting humanity. So I feel like many of you are starseeds and light workers, and you are learning more about that mission and learning more about the power that you truly have. And again, what you are coming here to do, like what your passions are and how you can use that to help the collective at this time. Let's see what else we have going on. Where do I want to go? Let's look at some challenges here. So we do have the Ace of Swords. Okay, wonderful. So you may be a little unsure or unclear about how you're feeling here with these new activations, with new codes that you've uncovered or remembered. You may be a little unsure about how to proceed. Like, how does that work in the everyday daily life? Now that I know these things, or now that I have just that greater understanding or awareness. And I think for some of you, this may even be about like, okay, just the normal day to day of what I've been doing is boring to me. That no longer resonates with me. That doesn't make me passionate anymore. Like my consciousness, like my ideas, my goals, my dreams have shifted in a sense, because you have a greater understanding of who you are and what you came here to do. And this is also an opportunity here for you to release any burdens, release anything that's not aligned with your purpose. And for some of you, you may not have like a full, complete understanding of what it is that you came here to do, or what your purpose is, or what your calling is. But what you know at this point in time is exactly what you need to know. And you're even finding, like, with what you even know at this point in time, like, you may still be like, okay, all right, so I know I'm supposed to educate in some way. So, like, what does that mean? Give me more information. So some of you may be at that point of where, like, you know some, but you're still figuring out. You're still listening for more. You're still open to learning more and hearing more. So we do have the Five of Swords here. Okay, so we're looking at challenges now. So you may have a little bit of contrast here coming your way, because like I said, this could be all in the mind, just where you have a lot of conflict and just uncertainty, especially with you learning more and more about your purpose. That also kind of brings up other things from the shadow, if you want to call it shadow work, that you know, you may feel like you need to deal with. So it may seem like, okay, this is wonderful, I know more about what I'm supposed to do, but then you also have this side of you that's like now bored and unsure, and now your nervous system is kind of acting up a little bit. You're starting to feel a little anxiety, a little, you know, uncertainty here, a little fear, a little doubt here. So all of those things sort of coming through to you. So just having a smooth time is what we're seeing come up as a challenge. Okay. So you're working through it, though. You got this. You're working through it. We also have the Seven of Wands here. All right. You may also struggle a little bit with, as we know, like with figuring out, like, okay, what does all this mean and how do I actually do it? So you may also be very concerned about that and just maybe just wondering like what you should do, how you should do it, if you're going to be able to do it, if you're going to have the strength and the courage and the bravery to do those things, or to just live your truth here. So this could be just very simple as far as just, again, living your truth, being your authentic self, finding your way back to who you are and remembering who you are. So some of you may find that there is a little bit of challenge in that. And I know as you progress spiritually and continue to wake up and expand your consciousness, like it's a little awkward because it's like you have this new feeling and you have these new knowings, and you know it's a little bit, it takes a little bit of adjusting essentially. And I feel like that's the energy that I'm getting, that you may be sort of at that place where it's like, all of this is wonderful, it's great, I love it. I'm just kind of like, it feels a little weird. I'm not quite sure, you know, how to process all of this. Wonderful. Okay, so we do have the sun here, so you're really going to be guided here, and it's going to be important for you to stay positive and stay focused on your goals. And you know a little about what you're here to do, and some of you may know it all, you may know more, but this is about you staying focused and staying on your path here, and you continuing to have these experiences and learning and growing and doing these activities and having these lessons that are allowing you to remember more and more about who you are, and essentially allowing you to get to that place where you remember and you are fulfilling your life purpose wholly and completely here. So let's look at underlying issues here. So we do have the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so there may be some temptations, or just some things that comfort zone. So we don't even have to call it temptations. It could just be like you wanting to stay in your comfort zone and not being quite ready to embrace the new energy, the new world here, the new chapter here that you're opening up. Excuse me. And like I said, for some of you, it could be just because it's like, okay, and I'll just go back to the example of educating. If that's part of your life purpose here, you may be thinking like, okay, who, how, where, when, you know what I mean? So again, there just may be some context that needs added around that. And the more you do, the more inspired action you take, the more the rest of that context, that background, the more it comes together, the more you can see how you feel about it, how it's received, and you can receive that feedback yourself, and you can make adjustments, and you can continue to refine your plans, your goals, and continue to do the work that you know you came here to do. So this is about you allowing yourself to be open to that, and getting out of that comfort zone, and being uncomfortable for a little bit, and just going for it, being vulnerable, and just testing and experimenting different things, because you don't have to know how, you don't have to have all those answers essentially. You just need to have that vision, that dream, and take inspired action toward it, and source, your higher self, the universe, will fill in the blanks for you. Okay, so let's look at your beliefs here. So let's see, is that fitting? We'll move this up a little bit so it fits. Okay, and we do have the seven. I mean, it's right here, the just, you know, the setbacks, the confusion here, and we already spoke at length about that, so we do know that, we understand that. But again, this is not about you having all the answers. If you feel like you have to have all the answers, you're always going to be confused, you're always going to be stuck, you're always going to feel stagnant here. If you feel like you have to know everything and do everything, then also, what would be the purpose of your journey? If you know everything up front, and you have the hows, you have who, what, when, where, why, you have all that answered, then why even do it, right? So there's a very specific design here, the grand scheme of things, which you know, and you knew that before you came here, and you decided that. So you want to see yourself expand, you want to see yourself grow, and know and trust again that you don't have to have it all figured out, and you shouldn't be trying to figure it out. You should have your vision, you should have your desires, and then you take action toward that. So let's look at your approach here. Interesting. Okay. So I feel like this is sort of like two-pronged here, right? So you're doing things and you may need to refine your plan. You may need to refine your strategies. You may need to go back and process your beliefs, your thoughts, your values, all of those things, the structures that you subscribe to, the written texts, or whatever it is. That you've been subscribing to, or that's played a role in your life, you're finding that that's no longer aligned with who you authentically are. So that is a process for you to release that and let that go. And that may be done in a little bit of it could be done in like a very quick way, because you're like, no nonsense, like either is this or that. Or it can be one that may cause you a little bit of a struggle there, because you are want to take a lighter approach where you're sort of backing out of it slowly. There's no wrong answer here. It's about your needs, your environment, what feels good to you and what feels right to you. But just this evolution here is happening here, and you're starting to see that change in yourself, and then others will also recognize that and see that change as well. And I'm not really connecting with how that's going to interact with others, but I am feeling that like this is a process. This may not be something that you're able to just say like, oh, I'm no longer subscribing to this, I'm now just spiritual. So there may be a little bit of conversations that want to be had by others, and a little confusion by others, and all of that. And you only take in what you feel comfortable with taking in, because everybody has an opinion, but, not every opinion, doesn't even have to be any, that are, will be important to you. So this is about you and who in your life is important, and who in your life you feel the need to explain to share with, to be vulnerable with, and you will decide all of these things. But this is about you and your journey from a place where you're not as clear to a place where you are healed, whole, and complete. So this is that whole healing journey here. And you are going on that journey, so I love to see that. And let's look at your external environment. So we do have, okay, wonderful. So for some of you, this isn't going to be as difficult as you think it is. Like, yeah, there may be a little bit of conversation, a little bit of discussion here, a little bit of others being afraid and confused and unsure, and wanting to know more about your ideas, your beliefs here, your values, your traditions, things like that. The new traditions that you're making, we'll say. So others may be curious about that and interested in that. And you'll find that many will be open and accepting to that. So there are potentially going to be some individuals that are going to give you a little bit of resistance, but I feel like you're going to find that more will be open and accepting of that, especially if you are working towards finding your soul tribe, or you have found your soul tribe already. So I don't think, again, this is going to be as difficult as you think. All right, and then we have guidance here. Okay, and I do feel like there is going to be some inspired action involved with this, and like I said, it's going to depend on the individuals that are around you and each individual person's situation, because I can see like both paths here. So some individuals are going to take issue and be resistant, and then other individuals are going to be open. They're going to be a little confused, they're going to be asking questions, but they're going to be open to your strategies, your philosophies, your ideas here. So what else do we have for guidance? So we have the Seven of Pentacles. Wonderful. So this is you continuing to persevere through all of this, knowing what your truth is and knowing what you came here to do, and knowing that anything that is stopping you from that is a distraction. It is something that you need to decide. Is this something that I'm going to continue to allow to be in my energy, or is this something I'm going to release, or is this something that, okay, yeah, I do want to be with this person, or I do want this person in my life, or I do want to be with these friends or family, but I'm going to set my healthy boundaries, and this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to back away or shy away from my purpose or calling, but I will be, open to, creating a little more balance there, where it's like, okay, maybe they don't want to hear everything. They just want to hear like a little tiny bit, or I got to give it to them in doses to what they'll be open to. And you'll decide what strategy you're going to use to coexist with others in your environment here. But you are sort of working through that and deciding what is best for you to do, because I don't necessarily see this as being like, oh, okay, I'm no longer religious, I'm spiritual, and then it just be like, okay, yeah, people, will people and have some feedback on that. And that's just an example here, but we also have the 8 of Wands here. Yeah, you put in that inspired action and effort, and you're going to see the results of it. You are going to make progress. You are going to continue on the path towards your calling here. So this is, again, about you taking inspired action in that direction, regardless of the resistance that you're seeing externally. Because ultimately it's really just a reflection of you, and it helps you to gain a better understanding of who you are and the ways that you can grow and be stronger in your purpose. So we also have this 6 of Wands here. And with the 6 of Wands, we have just victory, celebration. So this is that acknowledgement that you're going to be just fine. You are in the perfect place at the perfect moment. You're doing exactly what it is you need to do. You're going on that journey. You're adjusting, refining your goals, your dreams. You're contributing to the collective and to the life experience here in the exact way that you are supposed to be. And you're living your dream. And you're aligned with your authentic self. So we have all of that coming to this point here. Couldn't ask for anything better. So we have the wisdom within, quieting the external noise. Wonderful. So that's a really great point to get those self-care practices in. And as you are encountering resistance and you're encountering individuals that, just don't agree with that path and just feel like you should be doing what you used to do or the same things or what they're doing, this is about you recognizing that and not allowing that to stop you from living your dreams, from not allowing that to stop you to work towards those goals and towards those things that you came here to do as a light worker, as a starseed, as an earth angel. Okay. We also have potential and promise and keep going. I just said that with this. Like, you can't allow yourself to become distracted, and that is your confirmation of that. And we also have Mountain Goddess with high vibration, mindfulness, and power of the mind. So that's such a wonderful example. And we do have this woman meditating. Well, it looks as though she's meditating here, or she could be just connecting with her intuition and source. She may also be in prayer here. So that's just that reminder to you to do those self-care practices, whatever you can do to strengthen your connection with your higher self and to help better manage the ego as you are going through this healing stage and as you are continuing to go down the path that's leading you to your true calling. Okay, Sag? So those are the messages I have for you this week. So thank you so much.